Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Adventure. DX-ish. In the last part, we went through Windy Valley and ended up going through a casino arc in Casinopolis, and now we're in good old Ice Cap, returning from Sonic 3, sadly without its song that I love oh so much, but the songs they got here are nice and relaxing, albeit probably some of the quieter songs in the game on the whole. So I just skipped a decent chunk of the level by spin dash jumping from that one platform into that doorway. And in here we got this giant sort of open room where there's a couple of routes you can use to get to your destination, but I'm spin dashing across it and then jumping across these icicles to get to my destination very quickly. This is what I like about this game's level design and specifically more so physics. If you know where level design is and use the physics to your regard, you can skip a surprising amount of level design in a way that's very satisfying for me to do. It takes a little getting used to do that, mostly because while I've said I liked how Sonic controls in this game to begin with, you get moments like that for one thing where you just are suddenly on rails. But for another, controlling Sonic's jump at high speed over long distances, I'm not going to say it's hard, but it definitely takes some getting used to. But now, time for the big gimmick of this level. Now here's the really good song. I love this song so much. It's so cheesy in a way, but it's so good. So we're being chased by an avalanche. I have never gotten touched by this avalanche. You can control yourself left and right to grab some rings. In fact, I think some of the extra missions technically require that. But as long as you just don't maybe try to pull reverse almost the entire time, you're going to get through this no problem. Now, when you get to the section where you're actually in control of the camera a little bit, like right now, there are some routes you can go to do things a bit more quickly. In specific, there are ramps we're going to be seeing. If you press jump right before the edge of them, you will not only get a cutscene where Sonic effectively goes, yeah, and does a trick, you also get a notable speed boost. Which, hey, that's nice to have. Also, you're going to see my life count just constantly climb throughout this LP if you haven't noticed. Although I should probably also mention this. Sonic's playthrough in specific, I actually had to re-record a good chunk of. I think in specific it was like from just after Emerald Coast until I think the equivalent of what we do in like part 5, 6, or 7. I had to just completely redo due to some video behind the scenes and coding stuff. So if you see my ring count at the end of a stage kind of jump back and forth at certain points, it's because of that. I was really bummed about that because I was testing out some new settings, but it ultimately just didn't work out, so I went back to my old settings, and hey, it still looks pretty damn good. There are notably some Eggman mechs raining down missiles on you during certain parts of this snowboarding segment. I don't think I've ever gotten hit by them. I think it is possible to get hit by them. It's just never happened to me, as they are very small hitboxes, and you're probably going to be way off over to the side in most cases anyway, so they're not really much of a threat. At the bottom of this slope, though, is our reason for playing through this level, as well as the end of the level to begin with, that damn fourth Chaos Emerald. Albeit in the context of that quote, that's technically the yellow Chaos Emerald, but look, shush. Ice Cap's a pretty quick stage. I like using my spin dash to just kind of break through the level design pretty well here, but even if you don't do that, you're in for a pretty chill time on the whole, pun completely intentional.
Yeah, not bad.
And we're not actually even going to get a cutscene immediately after this stage. We just get that emblem up, and we're good to go to our next destination. As for what that next destination is, because we're not really given a hint here directly, you can either go talk to the Red Fairy, you can talk to the NPCs around, or you can just look around the main part of Mystic Ruins. You'll notice someone that wasn't there at all last part is suddenly there. And I'd say just approach them, and the cutscene should trigger pretty quickly because it's got a pretty large boundary on it. Who was that with the long arms and red body? I think he was headed towards the waterfall. Long arms and red body, I know that echidna anywhere.
What's up, Knuckles? Something bugging you? No time for games, Sonic. Give me the emerald you have, right now! What? Let's just see you take them! Huh.
Knuckles, why are we fighting? So this is our first character battle in the game. Every character battle's a joke. 3 shots, very quick, and they are done. Knuckles can fly around and try to punch you, but your homing attack will make very quick work of him.
Oh no! The Chaos Emeralds!
Eggman.
Oh!
Ha! Like taking candy from a baby.
That's a Chaos Emerald.
That's right, fool! You made it all too easy! You practically gave them to me!
Hold it right there, creep! You can't get away with this! Knuckles, don't tell me Eggman tricked you again!
Me? What about you?
Way to go, Knucklehead!
Now I have 4 lovely emeralds! Chaos! These are for you, my friend!
Oh! He transformed again!
Man! No one ever cuts us any slack!
Meet my least favorite boss fight in the game. Not because it's hard, it's just tedious on top of some other factors related to it. So the moment Chaos 4 enters the water, you may have noticed it went from looking like water to kind of looking like gelatin. That's because it is now sort of slimy. You will not immediately sink all the way down into the water, but you do slowly sink into it as you stand on the water, to a point where if you stand in it too long, you just outright take a hit. There are lily pads you can stand on to avoid that, on top of keep yourself safe from some of Chaos 4's active attacks. But the best thing to do in this fight is to just spin dash, jump all over the place, just keeping yourself from moving in one spot, keeping yourself from being in one spot rather for too long. Attack-wise, Chaos 4 can send a shockwave your wave. They can just get really close to you and sort of just shake one of the lily pads off the water surface for a little bit until it raises back up eventually. They can split up into 4 smaller orbs that will just kind of try to chase into you one at a time. But eventually, Chaos 4 will just kind of stand still and rise from the water surface a little bit, and at that point, their brain glows, and you can homing attack in to do the actual damage. It's just a very slow fight, although I love the music here. Chaos 4 always does remind me. I already mentioned in this LP that I came to both adventure games quite a bit later in my life. My first exposure to each game's plotline was their adaptations in Sonic X. And I distinctly remember watching the episode where Chaos 4 premiered on, actually, what network was that technically at that point for 4Kids stuff? Was that still Kids WB at that point, or was it like Foxbox? I've lost track over which name was when. I know Vortex was one of the last ones in that regard, but that was after I was watching anything on that, really. I think the last show I really watched on that with any kind of regularity was like early Dinosaur King dub, maybe. I also distinctly remember seeing Kamen Rider Dragonite on there and going, "That's cool looking," and then never actually watching it. Until much later when I really got into really watching Kamen Rider in early college. Chaos 4 can be a very long and tedious fight compared to a lot of other boss fights in the game, but at least it's not too hard to compensate for that. Just get used to seeing him, is all I'll say for now.
Behold my floating masterpiece, the Egg Carrier! But it pales in comparison to the power of chaos. Adieu, until we meet again, my friends!
Hey, we can't let him get away! Let's get to my workshop and we'll take the tornado!
Yeah!
You guys go. I have some unfinished business to take care of.
No problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here.
Come Come on, let's get going!
Now we can play as Knuckles, for better or worse, depending on how you feel about he plays. I'll be saving my thoughts on that for that particular playthrough, though. And just to mention it outright, the way I'm going to be doing this LP is that I'm going to be playing through them as they are listed from left to right, starting from Sonic on the stage select screen, so to speak. So, like, after this, we'll do Tails, then Knuckles, then so on and so forth.
What's the matter? What are you waiting for?
I don't know. All I know is that in order to actually progress, we need to head on up to Tails' workshop once again. If you're wondering what that jump code was, I went to go talk to people in Station Square to see if there's new dialogue. There largely wasn't. When there's no one and I'm just wasting a lot of time, I do just cut it out like that.
Sonic, wait here for a second. Sonic, hop in! Let's go!
Jarring genre shifts, not only just for Kirby. So welcome to Sky Chase. This is sort of a shoot-'em-up level. You can mash the button to fire pellets out of the front of the tornado, but they're really hard to hit enemies with. The big thing you're going to be doing is moving your aiming reticle onto enemies while holding the button to charge up a beam that will then home in on them. Aiming's a little awkward because you aim with the same analog stick you move with. So if you're trying to hit enemies while also dodge attacks, it can be a little weird, but ultimately it's rather unremarkable, so don't worry too much about it. I don't think I've ever really game overed here except for maybe once. So something kind of neat. Not exactly a good name for it anymore, just given how much time has passed, but Sonic Adventure became the first game to be called the Modern Era, although nowadays it's often referred to as the Dreamcast era via things like Sonic Generations. And that came with a new design for Sonic, as well as some new proportions, mostly, outside of the green eyes, which was a whole different fandom debate that I think was kind of pointless. But you can actually see a whisper of Sonic's classic-era proportions in this particular stage, as on the plane here, he has a much more noodly limbed body. And it's pretty neat looking. That's actually because Sonic Adventure itself changed drastically through development, and this is one of the earliest stages supposedly that may have been worked on in some form. Like, there was always going to be some form of this stage in the game. There's also an unused boss fight in this particular stage. That's this red twin-headed dragon that would follow you around. And people have restored it into the game code-wise with mods. But I don't think it actually attacks you. It just animates. It's like following the old animation path it would have had. Sky Chase itself here, though, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think it's, like, bad. It's just inoffensive and uninteresting. It's just slow enough that it takes a while to go through, and I don't really look forward to revisiting it, but I don't, like, dread it, if that makes sense. Compared to some other levels of this general variety that some other platformers would do, where it'd be like, oh no, I'm actively not looking forward to revisiting that. That's gonna suck. With Sky Chase, I'm just like, oh well, I guess. Mind if I'm picking up a Sonic game to replay, it's like Sonic 3 Unleashed or Black Knight in most cases, I would probably say. And even then, I don't pick those up that often as much as I used to compared to middle school, where I would play Sonic 3 like at least once a week.
We did it!
Way to go, Tails!
Why did they sound excited by that?
Tails? Tails! You're not who I'm looking for. Oh, I wonder if he's okay.
Now, I get the implications meant to be that he survived because he landed on the sand and all that. But between this and some other scenes in the franchise that released after this game, I can't help but wonder if Sonic characters can survive any fall of infinite height as long as it actually lands. It's the bottomless pits that actually kill them because they fall for literally ever. Weird. For a good hint on where to go next, though, let's talk to the hotel manager, as soon as I find the hitbox to talk to him. By the way, a girl with pink hair came here and headed toward the casino, and it looked like someone was chasing after her. That sounds important. We'll head over there in a moment, though, because I need to check in with some of the other NPCs around town. Oh, what's going on over here? We'll fight till we drop. We have to stand up for our rights. Oh, are you a customer? We're on strike. We're protesting for better working conditions. It may become a long battle. Hell yeah! Let it be known, Sonic the Hedgehog as an entire series says workers' rights. As they should. A girl with pink hair headed for the hotel. I remember she had a little bird with her. Second time we've heard about that. There's no reason to go to the station. They're on strike now. You can't go anywhere, and that's actually true. For story reasons, the strike is there to prevent us from getting over to Mystic Ruins right now. And in the case you're over there with a different character, to prevent them from getting over here to Station Square. It's mostly just a railroading thing. Quite literally, even now that I think about it. The girl with the pink hair was in a rush. She ran in and out and in and out. Huh. Well, clearly that means they probably started over here and ran towards the casino, I guess. Also, I didn't mention it when we were here earlier. You might notice in that shop I was just in a moment ago, outside the burger shop, at least. There's this gemstone on a pedestal. That's a Chow egg. You can actually pick that up and try to leave with it, but a barrier will come down. But you can go into the courtyard Repot Chaos Zero and find a rock to replace it with.
Sonic, wait up! Long time no see!
Amy!
What's wrong with you anyway? Listen, this birdie seems to be in trouble, so you need to be his bodyguard for a while.
You must be kidding!
If you don't, we're just gonna tag along anyway.
Now we can play as Amy, and this is also the debut of what has become her design ever since, and I like Amy's classic design a lot. I much prefer this design, especially when they actually give her some real personality here and again, albeit for a lot of the time she's had this design, she just has this exact personality here. I like what I've seen of what they've done with her in the IDW comics, though, albeit I still need to actually sit down and read those. I used to read Archie Sonic a lot. When that was actively a thing, as well as Archie Mega Man. I had most of that series. But IDW Sonic, I just never found the time to really start. For our next hint on where to go, though, let's once again talk to the hotel manager. By the way, the best place for a date around here is Twinkle Park. They're having a couple special, which we heard about earlier in the storyline to begin with. So we can head over towards where Twinkle Park is, which, in case you haven't realized it yet, that is that elevator that's on the far side opposite the hotel, in the area where the train station's front is. So let's just head on over there. It's a quick hop, skip, and a jump away. You know, I'll be the first to admit Sonic Unleashed subworlds had more to do in them between shops, NPCs to interact with that actually had little side quests here and again. But I feel like for this game's structure, these fit just so much better, and I'm glad they keep it as simple as it is.
Ah, look! Eggman's robot's on the loose!
No problem. He's just a chunk of cheesy hardware.
Whoa!
Oh, now what? Huh?
Look here! It says, "You couples get in free! Let's go!"
Amy! Wait! Oh, man! That girl is such a pain.
But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 4, we're going to follow Amy into Twinkle Park and get into one of the more varied levels in the game, honestly. See you guys then.